So heroes lose the flip. Miserable. Speaking of miserable, this hand's kind of marginal. 2 Lotus Cobras, 2 lands. We can cast Lotus Cobras with pretty much nothing else right now. Opponent opens on Creeping Tar Pit, which is basically the best man land in Standard right now. It's pretty obvious what deck he is. He's pushing both cards with Preordained, so he didn't keep either one. And then he plays an Island. Speaking of Island, we just top decked one, so next turn, if the Fates are with us, we can play Jace the Mind Sculptor, or we can at least sit back on Monolith. He's going to have none of that Doomblade before we can do anything with our first Lotus Cobra. We have basically the perfect top deck, Misty Rainforest, so we can play the Misty Rainforest, play our second Lotus Cobra, and we actually have Mana Leak backup now. As we can crack the Misty Rainforest and then make 2 mana with the Lotus Cobra, Mana Leak whatever he does. Yeah, I'm not willing to Mana Leak a Everflowing Chalice for 1. This should be a pretty spicy turn. We're going to play our land, get double mana off the land, and then play Jace the Mind Sculptor. And if need be, we can still crack that Misty Rainforest to cast Mana Leak. His response is going to be a Spell Pierce, so we're just going to crack the land and then pay 2 mana. I'm wondering what he has. I mean, it's obvious that play, so maybe he thought we wouldn't pay or what, or he had to try to get us tapped out to resolve what he's got coming up next. But, it's pretty obvious that we had the mana for Spell Pierce. He's going to attack our Jace with his Creeping Tar Pit, which is pretty predictable. I'm content to sit back on the fact that I have Jace and he doesn't, and I have a counter spell ready. So I'm just going to play Celestial Colonnade, get the mana from Lotus Cobra, and then whack his man land. And then attack for 2. Pretty good turn. And then post-combats, we brainstorm, and it's an awesome brainstorm. We're going to have Misty Rainforest and Preordain. So basically mana and cards and more cards with Jace and Primeval Titan. He's got all the mana in the world going to a Frost Titan. We'll have none of that. Mana Leak. We're going to untap and smash down our Superior Titan. So we draw that Preordain. We're not going to necessarily play it, but we're going to smash down our land, get the mana from Lotus Cobra, play a Titan. We've still got Jace in play, and predictably, concession. So for sideboarding, I took out 3 of the Birds of Paradise, and 1 Gideon Jura, and 1 Sun Titan. I hate having too many 0-power mana creatures against control. Like, he has Consuming Vapors and Consume the Meek, like card advantage removal. It's annoying to have too many creatures that don't really attack. And I'm bringing in Negate and Luminarch Ascension, and Luminarch Ascension is just an awesome threat, so it's alright to shave a Sun Titan and a Gideon Jura, and then Negate is mostly just in case he has Mimic Vat. So the irony of this game is we have 1 Birds of Paradise in our deck, and we draw it in our opening hand, and it's actually spectacular this game. I'm going to play it on the first turn. Birds can support our Mana Leak, so we're not going to play our Misty Rainforest yet. Just going to run out. Our comes in to play tapped land and sit back on Mana Leak mana. Next turn we can play Luminarch Ascension with Mana Leak backup or Explore. Depends on what he does. Jace Beleren, for sure that's worth a Mana Leak, and now he's all tapped out. So we're going to untap, play one of our lands that doesn't come into play tapped, and then slam down Luminarch Ascension, and the game is well within our grasp right now. Like on 4th turn, he has to play his 4th land and play Jace the Mind Sculptor. We're just going to destroy him with a Mana Leak here, and it's just a disaster. Isn't it weird how Standard has changed so much? Around regionals last year, on 4th turn, if you were a blue deck, you just play Jace the Mind Sculptor, and it always stuck against another blue deck. So why did I play the second Luminarch Ascension? Just don't want to lose to Into the Royal. So if he has Into the Royal, it can make us pick up our Luminarch Ascension. It has 3, even 4 counters on it. We lose a lot of value, but if we have 2 of them, it's really hard to beat from that perspective. So I'm just going to send in one of my guys now. I don't know, take 3. He's a Doomblade, that's okay. And the opponent looks at his 4 cards, none of them beats Luminarch Ascension, concession. I'm only editing 3 or 4 videos tonight, but I actually played a ton of matches with this Mythic deck, and I kept siding out Luminarch Ascension, even if I'd randomly win a game with it in game 1, I'd side it out. But I'd almost forgotten how unbeatable it is for control. If one guy gets active Luminarch Ascension, the other one could have active Jace the Mind Sculptor, and He's in trouble, a guy with Jace. Why don't more people play Luminarch Ascension? My bias is probably put Jace Bellerin, which is also very good against control, back into the main deck and then just sideboard like 3 Luminarch Ascensions. But it is awesome against control. Anyway, I hope you liked this video. I really enjoyed making it. If you like, you can find loads more awesome content on FiveWithFlores.com. Or this video is part of a cluster of information I'm going to do specifically around my column at tcgplayer.com this week. Thanks for watching.